Today we're going to be talking about why I focus on value and not so much on attachment, mindset, emotional healing, or other elements of codependent recovery. This is an important thing for you to understand, so you can be aware of and understand my methodology, why I do what I do. So I didn't always focus on value. Often I would focus on power first, the idea of personal autonomy and the innate truth that we are a whole being as we are. We're innately whole, and we need to discover and understand our personal autonomy, authority, boundaries, that kind of thing. But I found last year, after working with some clients, I discovered a pattern that was going on with clients that achieved closure with their trauma faster, a deeper sense of worth, and started finding faster results in their relationships, in their happiness, and in their overall enjoyment of their life versus my other clients over the last 11 years. So I started looking at what the differences were between them. And what I discovered is that these clients that were making this huge leap, I mean, they were accomplishing this usually within 7 to 8 sessions, whereas others, it took 18 to 24 sessions. That's a big leap. I found a pattern, and that pattern was our work was focusing on returning them back to their value first and healing their relationship with their worth. So it's healing the trauma around their worth. When we accomplished that, their success skyrocketed. They were able to adopt skills faster. They were able to say no quicker, choose yes faster in their life, make decisions that mattered to them quicker, and they became much more anchored and less reactive and more responsive to their life. Their anxiety dropped, their shame was eliminated, they felt worthy, and thus they acted worthy, right? Because when we feel differently, we see differently, we choose differently, then we act differently, and that leads to different results, different what's called dominant experience. So I got deeper into this pattern and saw that we always started focusing on value first, innate value. We started healing the experience or the relationship to what I call the love wound. And that is where we are injured in our sense of worth or being lovable as a person. We also believe that nobody would want our love, and we believe that nobody would want to love us. So we wouldn't love ourselves either. Those 3 elements resulted in what I call the love wound. And when we healed that, when we brought that back into focus where I'm lovable, others value my love, and others want to love me, their sense of innate value came to life. And so this led to those bigger, faster results like healthier relationships, marriages, jumps in business revenue, better jobs, basically more happiness and peace in their life. And isn't that what we all want, guys, right? We just want to have more peace, more happiness. We want to enjoy ourselves. Well, they started to enjoy themselves just for who they are. And they started to discover people, places, and things that resonated with that. And that's where they found a lot more fulfillment in their world. So they were also became more resilient to rejection, more resilient to disappointment, more clarity in how to handle problems, solutions that they want. They started to tune into their voice and their vision because they were anchored in their value. And that's where the happiness strategy was basically developed, is from this experience, this awareness I found, or this pattern I found in how my clients were succeeding versus how these fast clients were succeeding versus the slow clients. That's a pretty profound change right there. So there's another reason why this works, why innate value, or when we focus on value, why it's so important. And this has to do with the primary reason we are also codependent. Okay, codependency is a survival mechanism we've developed. It's a survival strategy we created in order to handle love neglect, how to navigate transactional love or the consumer supply relationship. But this all breaks down to the same thing: being loved, being valued, and being wanted for who you are. But in transactionalism and transactional love, we're being valued for what we do or the benefit we bring to the table. So when we heal our sense of value, we move it from transactional value to innate value, we're able to ignite our happiness and make the changes that really matter in our lives fast and relatively painlessly. A lot of times this becomes really enjoyable to step out there and go, hey, I want this, I want to accomplish that. And the inspiration shows up, the opportunities show up, the path outlines itself, and you take action. It's a really powerful and beautiful way to live. So fundamentally, codependency is attempting to address that deep need to be valued. Well, now we heal that deep need by fulfilling it and returning you to your own anchored sense of worth. Then when that need's filled, you don't need codependent skills anymore. You don't need the codependency to get your need met because you have healthy ways of getting it met. That means you can then adopt healthy skills to build healthy relationships, reciprocal and contributive relationships, build real love in your life, and create a life that you want. One that's based on things that bring you joy and that amplify who you are and that bring happiness. Really, that's really what it breaks down to. And this can be as simple as fishing. I have one client, that's what they love to do. They love to fish, they love to take care of their kids, and they love their job. That's their happiness. For me, it's doing this work and playing with games and traveling and hanging out with my kiddos. That's happiness for me. So happiness isn't going to be some grand thing that you've been conditioned into thanks to transactionalism. It's not about proving something. It's not about demonstrating something. It's about receiving what brings you joy. And that can be as simple as what you would buy at the store for food, all the way up to what you would invest your money and time in for a career or a business or a relationship, whatever it might be. So that's why I focus on value. Because when we get you anchored back into your value, all the other work becomes extremely simple. It becomes a lot easier, a lot more pragmatic. You adopt skills faster because you're not in resistance to the threat of being discarded. Instead, you're excited about connection. You're focused on that. You're able to withstand rejection and disappointment because it doesn't have the significance that it would have if you were in the discard or transactional relationship. That's why we focus on value. It's the fastest way to get out of codependency and get back into your brilliance, back into love, back into your happiness. So if you want help with this, we've got a few spots remaining in the happiness strategy. We start in just under a week and a half. So January 20th, 2020 at 7 p.m. is first class. So all you got to do is apply. You can click the link below at apply.freetheself.com. If you're on Facebook, same link, but it's it's above on Facebook, below on YouTube. But you go to apply.freetheself.com, and then you and I will have a short consult. We'll talk about what you're facing and see if this is the appropriate path for you, because that's how we do it. The happiness strategy is designed to help anybody that's struggling with their sense of worth, their sense of direction, their sense of purpose, and with trauma to find peace again, find direction again, and return back to their innate value. Thank you guys for showing up for today's training. I appreciate you. Remember that you're worth knowing, loving, and keeping. And let me know if you have any questions about this. Let me know what you got out of today's training by commenting below. And you guys have a safe and fun day out there with today's Thursday excitement. See you in our next training, guys. Bye-bye.